Ladies and gentlemen, throw away your courtroom dramas. Because reality just went off script in a way even Netflix couldn't exaggerate. King Harris, yes, T.I.'s son, the self-proclaimed trouble magnet of Atlanta royalty, has just been hit with a 5-year sentence. And the courtroom reaction made the O.J. Simpson trial look like traffic. Court. Picture this. The judge drops the gavel. The words 5 years echo through the room. And suddenly, T.I. rap mogul, hustler turned family man, the rubber band man himself, snaps harder than a Wi-Fi signal in a basement. Forget calm, forget composure. Tip went full expeditiously unhinged, launching into a tirade so wild that spectators swore Jerry Springer rose from the grave just to direct the scene. We're not talking about a polite objection here. We're talking, shouting, pointing, and enough courtroom chaos to make Judge Mathis retire early. This wasn't just an outburst. This was a cultural earthquake. The memes, already viral. The celebrity reactions, pure madness. And the Harris family legacy, torn open like a reality TV reunion special, so buckle up. Because this isn't just a sentencing. This is the day T.I. turned a courtroom into a concert, a circus, and a scandal all rolled into one explosive meltdown. When the words 5 years left the judge's lips, the courtroom didn't just fall silent, it detonated. King Harris, the son of hip-hop royalty T.I. and Tiny, went from spoiled celebrity offspring to inmate in one swing of a gavel. And if you thought the rap game was going to sit back and sip tea quietly, you clearly don't know how chaos works. King Harris has been living in controversy for months, if not years. Between viral videos of him fighting at fast food spots, wild live streams where he claimed he was built for the streets while lounging in a mansion, and his constant roller coaster relationship with public opinion, King has been a magnet for headlines. But no one, not even his biggest haters, saw this coming. A half-decade behind bars. And let's talk about he, because this wasn't some detached father in a suit nodding at the judge's words. Nah, this was T.I. the rapper, the hustler who rapped about rubber bands and trap life. Suddenly reliving his own worst nightmares. One second he was sitting calmly, the next he exploded like the Wi-Fi router unplugged midden BA final stream. His outburst was so raw, so chaotic, that court reporters couldn't type fast enough. Some even swore they saw the judge flinch. And judges don't flinch, according to eyewitnesses. And trust me, they went viral faster than a leaked Cardi B DM. T.I. shouted, "This is injustice," with the same energy he once used to diss his rivals on wax. He pointed at the judge, at the prosecutors, even at random clerks who were just trying to do their 9-to-5. At one point, rumor has it, Tip slammed his hand down so hard the microphone squealed like it owed him money. Within minutes, clips of T.I.'s meltdown hit the internet, and the memes practically generated themselves. One showed him photoshopped as Kanye interrupting Taylor Swift, with a caption, "Yo, Judge, I'ma let you finish," but King Harris had one of the best defenses of all time. Another depicted the courtroom as a rap battle stage, with T.I. spitting bars at the judge while King Harris nodded along like a hype man. Twitter doesn't miss, and they sure as hell didn't miss this. But here's the kicker, not everyone found it funny. While fans were laughing at memes, critics sharpened their knives. Comment sections filled with posts like, "Maybe if T.I. raised him better, he wouldn't be in this mess." Others accused the entire Harris family of living in a bubble, where King thought consequences were optional until the hammer finally dropped. Harsh, yes, but this is the internet, and empathy gets less engagement than mockery. Meanwhile, celebrities began chiming in like it was the Met Gala of scandals. Boozy Buttaz naturally hopped on IG Live from his porch to deliver a sermon. "Man, that judge trippin'. They ain't give them other kids no 5 years. They try to make an example 'cause it's Tip's son." He puffed on a blunt mid-sentence because nothing says legal credibility like an unfiltered smoke session. Fans flooded his comments, half agreeing and half telling him to worry about his own cases. Then came 50 Cent. Oh yes. Curtis Jackson himself couldn't resist tossing gasoline on the fire. He posted a meme of T.I. in court with the caption, "Expeditiously sentenced." The internet lost its mind. Within hours, the post had racked up millions of views and reignited their long-running feud. People weren't just debating King Harris anymore. They were speculating whether 50 and Tip were about to go bar for bar. In a new wave of petty diss tracks, and if that wasn't messy enough, reality TV stars jumped in too. Tamar Braxton tweeted that courtroom chaos was giving real reunion energy. Somebody get Andy Cohen to moderate. Fans roasted her for turning a sentencing into Bravo content. But let's be real, she wasn't wrong. But let's rewind a little. Because King's 5-year sentence didn't just fall out of the sky. The prosecution painted him as a repeat offender who thought his famous last name was a get-out-of-jail-free card. They cited fights, reckless behavior, and a laundry list of "you thought you were invincible" moments. The defense tried to spin it into youthful recklessness, claiming King was just another celebrity kid struggling under the spotlight. But the judge? Unmoved. 5 years flat, like a DJ Khaled beat that refuses to drop. The courtroom gasped. Tiny Harris reportedly clutched her pearls, or at least her iPhone, and cried. King's siblings looked stunned, like someone had spoiled the ending of Power right in front of them. And that's when he lost it. That's when the courtroom went from gavel and order to pure love and hip-hop. Lana Chaos. Reporters described it as unprecedented. Bloggers called it better than cable TV. Even the stenographer allegedly paused typing just to watch the spectacle. And by the time security stepped in to calm things down, the damage was done. The story had left the courtroom and entered the bloodstream of pop culture, ready to dominate every timeline and talk show. Because this wasn't just about King Harris anymore. This was about celebrity privilege, about generational wealth clashing with generational consequences, about whether famous kids get treated differently when they finally face the music. And T.I.'s outburst. It became the symbol of that debate. A father desperate to protect his son, or a star convinced the system had cheated him, depending on who you asked. It was either bravery or entitlement on full display. But here's the thing about chaos. It doesn't stay contained. The second the gavel dropped, the second Tip exploded. The second clips hit the internet. The culture didn't just watch. It reacted. And those reactions were about to spiral into a frenzy bigger than anything the Harris family had ever seen. If the sentencing was the spark and T.I.'s outburst was the gasoline, the internet was the wildfire that consumed everything in its path. By the time the courtroom footage leaked online, you couldn't scroll for 5 seconds without seeing King Harris' name trending. Twitter turned into a digital amphitheater. TikTok became a courtroom skit factory. And Instagram was plastered with memes that made the actual trial look like a comedy special. One viral clip showed T.I. shouting at the judge, and someone edited a WWE-style theme song behind it. The caption read, "T.I. versus the judicial system. WrestleMania main event, millions of views in hours." Another meme depicted King Harris behind bars with the caption, "Expeditiously incarcerated. The internet has no mercy, especially when it smells blood." And while fans were having their laugh, rappers couldn't resist throwing in their 2 cents. Meek Mill tweeted something vague like, "They always try to make an example of us," which fans dissected like it was the Dead Sea Scrolls. Lil Boosie doubled down on his earlier comments, this time screaming into his live that the whole thing was a setup and that King was being targeted because of T.I.'s fame. Of course, half the comments were people reminding Boosie of his own rap sheet. But chaos is his brand, and he wasn't going to miss this stage 0.50 cent. Never one to miss an opportunity for trolling. Posted again, this time a courtroom meme with the words "expeditiously guilty." Fans went feral. Old beefs between him and T.I. got dragged back up like skeletons out of a graveyard. People weren't even debating King's sentence anymore. They were throwing popcorn at their screens, waiting for 50 and Tip to start another round of diss tracks. But it wasn't just rappers fueling the fire. Reality TV stars and influencers saw their chance to ride the wave. Joseline Hernandez tweeted this: "That love and hip-hop energy. Judge should have thrown a drink instead of the gavel." Tamar Braxton compared the outburst to a reunion episode, saying, "Somebody get Andy Cohen in that courtroom ASAP." Fans laughed. Critics rolled their eyes, but the point was clear. This scandal wasn't just hip-hop news anymore. It was mainstream entertainment. And then came the think pieces. Bloggers and podcasters rushed to frame the moment as the downfall of hip-hop parenting. One article was titled, "From Rubber Band Man to Helicopter. Dad T.I. faces his legacy." Another claimed King sentence proved that celebrity privilege only goes so far. Podcasts milked the topic dry, turning it into 4-hour debates about parenting, fame, and whether or not rappers should even raise their kids in the spotlight. But as usual, the internet divided into factions. Some people defended T.I., saying any father would have lost it hearing their child sentenced to 5 years. Others dragged him, arguing his outburst was proof that he raised King to believe he was untouchable. Comment sections turned into virtual boxing rings, with fans screaming "Free King" while others clapped back with "He earned it." And while fans and celebrities were battling it out online, King himself wasn't silent either. Word leaked from insiders that King Harris never won to avoid the spotlight. Told his inner circle that he was built for this and that 5 years wasn't going to break him. Of course, the internet laughed. Memes of King and his designer outfits behind bars flooded timelines. Captions reading, "Gucci in the Gulag." Even his claim of being street ready was mocked, with TikTokers dressing up in prison jumpsuits while holding Starbucks cups, pretending to be celebrity inmates. But the chaos reached a whole new level when King's sentencing became a cultural talking point beyond hip-hop. Cable news picked it up. Anderson Cooper tried to pronounce expeditiously with a straight face, and Twitter nearly crashed. Pundits debated whether King's sentencing was harsher because of who his father was, or if it was a standard punishment dressed up in celebrity glitter. The outrage snowballed when activists weighed in. Some argued it was proof the justice system was broken. If a rich rapper's son could get 5 years, imagine what happens to kids without fame or money? Others claimed it was the opposite, that King's fame got him treated more lightly than any regular teen would have been. The back and forth never ended, and every opinion piece only fanned the flames higher. Meanwhile, the memes kept coming. Someone edited footage of T.I. yelling into a remix of his hit, "Bring M Out," changing the lyrics to "Bring the Judge Out." Another video looped King's sentencing with laugh tracks, as if it were an episode of Fresh Prince. The internet didn't care about nuance. It cared about entertainment. And this trial was the hottest show in town. The Harris family itself became a hot topic. Tiny was painted as the silent sufferer, clutching her pearls while the internet roasted her son. King's siblings were dragged into the discourse, with fans debating whether they'd end up just like him and T.I. Well, he became the face of parental chaos, a man torn between fame and family, legacy and downfall. But the loudest debate wasn't about King or Tip at all. It was about the culture. People began asking, has hip-hop become so wrapped up in spectacle that even tragedy is treated like a circus? Was this sentencing justice, or just another episode of reality TV disguised as Law and Order? And most importantly, what did it mean for King Harris' future? Because beneath the memes, the outrage, and the think pieces, one fact remained. A 5-year sentence is no joke. And whether King embraced it as proof of his street credibility or not, the reality was setting in. His father's meltdown might have stolen the headlines, but King himself would be the one living the consequences and the culture. It wasn't letting this go anytime soon. The smoke from T.I.'s courtroom eruption didn't settle. It lingered like a fog that refused to clear. And the aftermath wasn't just dramatic. It was devastating, hilarious, and messy, all rolled into one giant cultural hangover. Let's start with the Harris family themselves. Tiny, who had tried to keep her composure, was suddenly trending for all the wrong reasons. Fans zoomed in on her shocked expressions, turning screenshots into reaction memes. One viral post showed her face with the caption, "When you realize your reality show just turned into a courtroom drama." King's siblings weren't spared either. Fans began digging into their social media, nitpicking every flex post, every throwback, every caption about living rich. The internet had decided the Harris kids were guilty of flaunting privilege, and King's sentence was their karma. Then there was King himself. Word trickled out that he was trying to treat his prison stint like a rite of passage. Sources claimed he told friends, "This gone make me real certified now." And sure enough, that clip went viral, immediately sparking a wave of TikToks parodying him. One creator dressed in an orange jumpsuit while sipping a caramel frappuccino, saying, "Y'all don't get it, I was built for this." Millions of likes poured in. King's attempt to embrace the street life only fueled the narrative that he was cosplaying danger until reality slapped him with 5 years of hard time. But T.I. was the one under the harshest spotlight. His outburst turned him from hip-hop mogul into a late-night punchline. Jimmy Fallon cracked a joke about expeditiously contempt of court. Memes showed T.I. standing over the judge's bench like it was a rap battle stage, with captions like, "Who won? Judge Judy or Tip?" He had tried to defend his son, but instead, he became the symbol of celebrity parents losing control of their kids. Podcasters didn't let up. Joe Budden said, "This is what happens when you raise your kid in a mansion and let him think he's a block certified." DJ, with his usual brand of messy glee, turned it into a week-long Twitch saga, mocking King while playing T.I.'s old hits in the background. Even drink champs got in on the discourse, hinting that they wanted T.I. to come on the show and explain himself over a couple bottles. The culture was feasting on the chaos, and nobody was pushing their plates away. But while the internet laughed, the consequences were real. Court insiders reported that T.I.'s outburst could actually hurt King's chances at appeal. Judges don't forget being screamed at by rappers, no matter how many platinum plaques they've got. What was meant to be a father's moment of protection might have backfired in the most spectacular way possible. And yet, the Harris brand, as messy as it was, didn't die. In fact, it mutated. Reality TV producers reportedly reached out about turning the family drama into a docuseries. Streaming platforms pitched ideas for the Harris trial, expeditiously uncut. The same chaos that was tearing their reputation apart was also opening new revenue streams. Because in today's entertainment economy, scandal isn't a setback. It's a business model. But the real aftermath wasn't about profit. It was about perception. And the perception was brutal. Too many, King Harris went from privileged troublemaker to cautionary tale. To others, he became a meme mascot for fake street kids who got humbled. And T.I. He became the dad who couldn't save his son from the one system he couldn't bully, finesse, or out-rap the law. Still, for all the dragging, there was a layer of sympathy. Some fans admitted they saw themselves in Tip's outburst. Any parent would have lost it. One tweet read, racking up thousands of likes, "That wasn't a rapper moment. That was a father moment, and it's true beneath the memes and mockery." There was something painfully human about T.I. cracking open in court, but sympathy online doesn't last. Outrage trends longer, and the Harris scandal was too juicy to let go. Conspiracy theories popped up that the 5 years weren't real, that King would be out in months thanks to money and connections. Others claimed the judge was using King to send a message about celebrity privilege. Every angle, every theory, every screenshot was stretched until it became content. And that's the final tragedy of it all. King's sentence, T.I.'s explosion, the family's humiliation, it all became entertainment. The courtroom wasn't a courtroom anymore. It was a stage, a set, a viral clip farm. The culture didn't just watch it. It consumed it, rewound it, and memed it until the meaning blurred. In the end, what should have been a sobering moment about crime, punishment, and family pain turned into the hottest reality show of the year. King Harris wasn't just sentenced to 5 years. He was sentenced to being the internet's favorite punchline. And T.I.? He wasn't just a father defending his son. He was the face of an entire scandal, caught between love, rage, and the unstoppable circus of fame. And the question that hangs in the air, louder than any gavel, sharper than any meme, is this: will King Harris' 5 years redefine him? Or will it just be another storyline in the endless soap opera of celebrity chaos? Because if history tells us anything, this isn't the end. It's just the cliffhanger. And there you have it, the day. King Harris got slammed with 5 years, and T.I. turned a courtroom into his own personal rap battle stage. Forget legal arguments, this was chaos wrapped in designer suits, fueled by outrage. Feel broadcast for the world to devour like the latest Netflix binge. What should have been a solemn moment of justice became the wildest crossover episode between law and order and love and hip-hop. But now, the gavel's in your hands. Was T.I. a father standing up for his son? Or a celebrity melting down because his last name couldn't rewrite the law? Did King Harris get a fair sentence? Or was this the system using him as a billboard to say, not even fame can save you? Drop your verdict in the comments. Because the jury of the internet never rests. And don't even think about ghosting after this expose. Smash that like button like you're slamming the gavel yourself. Hit subscribe like you're sneaking into the courtroom without a pass. And ring that notification bell the way TMZ rings lawyers after a meltdown goes viral. Because tomorrow, another scandal will erupt. Another rapper, another courtroom, another meltdown, and you already know Expose Express will be right here. Serving the receipts hotter than McDonald's fries and messier than a blue-faced baby shower, so stay locked in. Keep your popcorn buttered, and remember, in hip-hop, the truth doesn't set you free, it blows up your timeline. This is Expose Express, where scandals aren't just reported. They're unleashed. They're unleashed.